For the next session, the team removed the paint and added dry materials, including projected images and soil with worms. This seemed to cause a stir.
How do you think that worm moves?
Some of them just wanted to observe and just enjoyed looking, and they liked the flowers that were in there and looking at the bulbs more than the insects. But then boys wanted to get in and get their hands in and tell you what it felt like. And so that is.
And that depends on their experience. One of the girls said, I don't like worms, they bite. And her experience was that that's what she thought, whereas the boys, they might have experience and they quite liked them, didn't they? And they wanted to pick them up.
Working in such an open-ended way really stimulated the adults' understanding. The team came to a joint understanding of creativity as a process rather than an outcome. For the children, it seemed that their developmental stage really affected their interactions with the environment. A lot of children enjoyed the tactile and sensory experience, and this overpowered their desire to produce end products.
I suppose the children are being child-centred, and the children getting a lot out of it in terms of to kind of dictating their own space is one facet of it, but the other sides of it are that they do need that adult intervention to show them the possibilities within that space. And so I think what I realised was that after that first week you needed somebody in there to show them the possibilities and the ramifications of what they do, and all the things that are in there, how to possibly use something in a way that they hadn't thought of. And I think they could, as a result of that, come out with more creative conclusions than if you just leave them to it, because they don't necessarily at that age have the capacity to understand everything and all the permutations.
It's kind of like tunnel vision with one thing into it, and they needed that little bit of branching off so that they could see what to do.
And at times as well, just kind of sort of settling down. And I think the idea, it seemed like they almost perhaps got comfort from an adult being there, because they knew then that the rules of the classroom applied, and I think they probably got something out of that, not just, oh no, we've got to behave ourselves, but to know that it wasn't this kind of completely brand new space that was a kind of lawless zone. It was, it had the rules and all the things that taught them in the classroom.
At Whitelaith Primary School, the dance sessions with the external partners seemed to engage all the youngsters. Through their enthusiasm and creativity in producing a soundtrack and dance movements, the performance was slowly starting to come together.
And a lift. Drop. Make sure you've got plenty of space over in that corner, looking a bit squashed. Hopefully you've got enough music to get you all the way across there before, the next group might come in slightly.
Life is about working together and cooperating. There's a lot of things needed to be done in groups, otherwise life isn't that easy.
Okay.
I like doing the silly bit when it was like doing the crab.
You like being a crab. Did you like dancing, or was it the idea of being a crab?
Dancing.
You like the dancing?
The development of the pupils throughout this Creative Partnerships project in terms of group work and personal creativity was fascinating. The way the pupils learnt to deal with each other and collaborate was impressive, and not only impacted on their enjoyment but on their ownership of the work and their support of one another to succeed.
It was turning into, when they were turning into the sort of the more sea-like version or seaweed-like version of their movements. And who's the blonde lad in his group? Jordan started saying something about a dolphin or something, and he got halfway through, I think, through the word before Jake came up with, no, I've got a better idea. And let's do this, and marched his group around, and the dolphin was lost by the time.
Because I asked them to, when I named the groups, I deliberately said Jordan's group, because Jake always thinks it's his group.
And
I saw Jake react when I said that, so but I thought it'd be quite interesting to see how he took that.
And we watched from the side that when Jake took a rest, the two boys took a rest, that it was very much Jake in control, even though the ideas maybe haven't come from him.
It's quite interesting that we've got 4 target children and we're always just talking about Jake. Or only one of them, and Kyle also comes out of it quite a lot. And I know he's not one of the target children, but you always notice him. You do track him, don't you?
I noticed again what you were saying last week about Chloe thinking, okay, now we need to do something next, and she offers him an idea, and then Kyle says, no, what about this? Oh, yeah, but shall we do it like this? And then she immediately goes with his ideas, and she really encourages him, I think.
She's very much.
But they're both working very respectfully.
Yeah, brilliantly.
Really communicating well, but she really tries to use his ideas, you know. It was actually a better idea as well. So.
His was?
Yeah.
And you said, didn't you, it's nice actually for her to get a rest from it, because actually we talked about stereotypes and how the children look at Chloe as an idea giver and a sort of organiser, and actually, it must be quite a lot of pressure.
About the difference between her in the group of 3 and when she was working with Jake. When she was in the group of 3, she was having to facilitate everyone's ideas. And what do you think? What should we do about that? We've got 2 ideas now. What do we do now? Kind of thing. And in the other group, she was fine. She was kind of let off the hook a bit. She didn't have to.
Yeah,
she didn't have to do it so much.
Control.
As the dance part of the project neared its end, all the pupils looked forward to the performance in front of their parents, teachers and the rest of the school.
Everything was peaceful until the Big Bang. From out of nowhere, billions of pieces of rock merged together, forming the planets. Each of the planets are completely different in their own special way.
With a full house, the production was underway, with everybody taking to their roles superbly. The previous weeks of creating this performance, with all of its debate on creativity and input, all fell into place, and what the audience was seeing was a collection of ideas, movements and sounds created collaboratively. Even the alien looked real and really quite scary.
The school, they've had a really great experience working with external people. I think they've learnt an awful lot about what that can bring to teaching and to learning. I'm not sure if they've done it before, but I know that they'll do it again. And I think for Zoe, she's got a much more, she's got a lot of confidence out of it. She's got a lot of understanding of creativity. I think I had a conversation with her talking about what we talked about earlier, but her understanding of creativity at the beginning was very much to do with the arts and, having ideas and being good at drawing or being confident to do drama. And I think she sees it very differently now. And in her role as an AST, I think she will sort of spread that throughout her school and throughout local schools as well.
What would you think from your point of view? What's the big thing that you feel you've learned through doing the project?
When I tell other people about it, I tell them about the way the children have changed and support each other in groups. Right. That's the thing I talk about.
Through reflection of the creative process at Doncaster Road, both Lewis and Debbie realised that negative experiences ultimately created a positive response to the creative process.
For me, it was the fact that, as you said, it kind of reaffirmed what you already knew, but also it meant that because it it didn't go how we wanted it to, that was almost like an avenue that we could draw back from and know that we didn't sort of need to pursue, and it's kind of, that was in itself something positive, the fact that it was perhaps a negative experience, and it's how you respond to that in a positive way, saying, okay, that didn't work, but we'll look at other ways of kind of progressing with staff supervision.
It's made of mashed potato.
Mashed potato?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah? Do you think it tastes like mashed potato? Does it? Oh, I don't think it does. Don't try it, Billy Dominic. Don't try and eat it.
So looking back on it now, it was sort of a positive step because it informed how we moved on, I think.
So I think we needed to go through that process to get us where we are now. But it also made us think about the resources as well, the outside materials. Was it because they had not experienced them before, or was it because that they were out of context and some of the children just weren't interested in them at all?
What made you decide to ask to create this environment with those kind of, are they themes? I don't know, with those kind of concerns? You made those choices about
because
what you wanted the space to be like.
We don't have an outside area in foundation stage, and it's so important to have that area. The language opportunities are far more rich outdoors, and because we don't have that, we were really keen to try and bring some of that inside. And I think we still want to go down that route, don't we, to try and do that. So we feel that's really important.
Through both of these action research projects, at Whiteleaf Primary School and Doncaster Road Primary School, creativity was tested in different settings and situations. Lessons were learnt and outcomes were made. Everyone involved achieved a greater understanding of creativity and appreciation of the power of being reflective for both children and adults alike.
I'm really lucky now that in the classroom the children have this expectation about group work. It is a supportive environment, it's fun, we can tackle something that actually might go completely wrong and still have fun with it and not be worried, and I don't have to feel that I have to control them in an environment.
To be creative, children need to have the confidence to know that the supported and whatever they are creating is going to be valued by somebody, whether it's something that they say or something that they make or something that they draw, it is going to be valued by somebody.
I think in general there is a difference in creativity between young children and older ones, between 4-year-olds and 10-year-olds, but I think those skills are still there, the same, they're just expressed in different ways, you see them in different ways and in different activities.
The first thing I thought about the project was it was exciting because I wanted to be a more creative teacher, and I realised that in order to help children be creative we had to think creatively first, so I had to go through all of the same things. I had to take a risk, I had to question, I had to observe, I had to fail before I could finally bring those sort of skills to the children, and the CARA project has enabled me to do all of those things, but with the support of the professionals that are running the project and a creative partner who works in a similar way.
Looking back from where we started and to where we are now, I think everybody involved in CARA has been on a really huge journey. I think I remember the initial development training days when we met everybody for the first time, and then going back recently to the reflection days. I think there's been a huge change in people's understanding of creativity, a huge change in their connection with teaching. I think one of the comments that a lot of people have made is that it's reinvigorated their enthusiasm for creativity and reminded them why they went into teaching in the first place, which I think is an amazing achievement really when people have been in the profession for 20-30 years.